Hi students, in the last class we discussed about Morgan's experiments on Drosophila melanogaster. He studied the genes that were sex-linked. He crossed yellow-bodied, white-eyed female Drosophila with brown-bodied, red-eyed male Drosophila. He observed the F2 ratio was not similar to the Mendelian dihybrid ratio. More parental combinations were formed than non-parental combinations. And the two genes were not segregated independently. He found out the genes were physically associated, and he used the term linkage for such physical association of genes on the chromosome. And the generation of non-parental combinations are known as recombination. And he found out all the genes that are present on the chromosome are not equally linked. Some genes are more tightly linked, whereas some genes are loosely linked. Because he crossed yellow-bodied white-eyed with a wild type, and at the same time white-eyed and miniature wings with a wild type. In the first cross, he got only 1.3% non-parental combinations. But in the second cross, he got around 37.2% non-parental combinations. That means the genes yellow and white are more closely linked than white and miniature wings. Later, his student Alfred Sturtevant, he used the frequency of recombination as a measure of the distance between the genes on the chromosome and mapped the positions of genes on the chromosome. These gene maps are now widely used as a starting point in sequencing the whole genome. So, when the linkage increases, the chances of recombination decreases. Okay, that is about linkage and recombination. Now, normally you know the characters are controlled by a pair of genes, and Mendel discussed about two alternatives of the same character. For example, if it is height, either tall or short. But you know many intermediate character also we can see. Another example is human skin color. Not only the darkest and the lightest shade, many other shades also we can see. So in such cases, the single character is controlled by more than two genes, 3 or more genes. Such condition is known as polygenic inheritance. Many genes control a single character. The classical example is human skin color. Human skin color is controlled by 3 genes, A, B and C. If all the 3 genes appear in dominant condition, then the darkest skin color will produce. And if all the genes occur in recessive condition, the lightest shade will produce. And 3 dominant and 3 recessive alleles result in intermediate condition. So, the number of types of alleles determine the skin color. This is known as polygenic inheritance. Many genes control a single character. But at the same time, there are certain genes which control more than one phenotypic expression. For example, a metabolic disorder called phenylketonuria. It is due to the mutation of a gene which codes for the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase, and this disorder is associated with other phenotypic expressions like mental retardation, reduction in the hair and skin pigmentation, etc. So, here a single gene controls more than one character. That is known as pleiotropy. Single gene effect on more than one phenotypic character. That is pleiotropy. Okay. That is about polygenic inheritance and pleiotropism. Now we can move to another topic that is known as sex determination. The whole chromosomes in our body can be divided into two: autosomes and allosomes. The chromosomes which control the body characters are called autosomes. The chromosomes which control the sex of the organism are called allosomes. And it was Henkin. He observed the spermatogenesis of insects, 50% of the sperms receive certain nuclear structure, whereas the remaining 50% is devoid of that. He called it as X body. And later studies by other scientists proved that these X bodies are nothing but chromosome. So they call them as X chromosome. And now we can study the different sex determination mechanisms. These are XXXO type, XXXY type, ZZZW type, and haplodiploid mechanism. Okay, so the first one is XXXO type. Example is grasshopper. In the grasshopper, in addition to the autosomes, the female possesses a pair of X chromosome, whereas this is the case of female. Whereas the males possess, in addition to the autosomes, they possess only one X chromosome. Here only one X chromosome. But in the case of females, in addition to the autosomes, a pair of X chromosomes are there. That means the total number of chromosomes in male and female are different. And here the male can produce two types of gametes. Gametes with X chromosome and gametes without X chromosome. So, here the males are heterogametic in nature because females produce same type of gametes but males produce two different types of gametes. So, this mechanism is normally found in grasshopper. Now, we can move to the second type, that is XXXY type. You are familiar with that. Human beings is an example of that type of sex mechanism. The second type is XXXY type. You are familiar with that. Human beings are also an example of this type of sex determination. One more example is Drosophila. Here in this case, in addition to the autosomes, here females possess a pair of X chromosome, whereas the males possess one X and one Y chromosome. Here the total number of chromosomes are same in male and female, but females carry a pair of X chromosome, but males have one X and one Y chromosome. Again here the males produce two different types of gametes. Gametes with X chromosome and gamete with Y chromosome. So again males are heterogametic in nature. Okay. Now we can move to the third type, that is ZZZW type. Example, birds. Here the female birds produce two different types of gametes. Here The chromosomes are Z and W. It is denoted as Z and W because they are slightly different. But the males carry a pair of Z. Okay, so here the females produce two different types of gametes, not the males. Here males produce only one type of gamete. So here females are heterogametic in nature. Clear? So in the first two cases, males are heterogametic because male produce two different types of gametes. But in the case of birds, females are heterogametic because females produce two different types of gametes. And the last type is haplodiploid mechanism. The example is honeybee. Female honeybees possess 32 chromosomes, whereas the male honeybees possess only 16. This is the female and this is the male. So female honeybees possess 32 chromosomes, whereas the male honeybee possess only 16 chromosomes. And these females by meiosis it produces eggs. By meiosis it produces eggs. As a result, it becomes haploid. And in the case of male, without meiosis, without a reduction division, by mitosis, it produces the gamete. So, when the male and female gametes combine, we will get the female progeny. So, by fertilization, it produces the female progeny. But if this egg without fertilization, that is by parthenogenesis, if the egg develops without fertilization, it becomes a male individual. This becomes female. Okay, so by fertilization, female individuals are formed. By parthenogenesis, the male honeybee is formed. So this male honeybee, they don't have father or son, but they have grandfather and grandson. That is the case of sex determination in honeybee, and this is known as the haplodiploid sex determination. Females are diploid in nature and males are haploid in nature. That is about today's topic. The remaining we can study in the next class.